Welcome back to another video. Rope Monster coming at you here from beautiful Mexico City. We're in the Roma Nte neighborhood today, and we're going to go walking, exploring, and we're going to answer a question I had from a subscriber, William Greystone. So William asked, hey brother, how did you learn Spanish so well? So in this video, I'm going to give you guys 8 ways that I learned Spanish surprisingly quick. No, not in 30 days, not in 2 or 3 months. But I became fluent in Spanish in a very short period. I was conversational within months. And I'm gonna share the 8 ways that worked for me. Stick around for numbers 6 through 8, because those are pretty surprising. I think they'll be really shocking actually to some of you guys. Because I'm talking about not just learning Spanish. I'm not talking about sitting down and learning the nuts and bolts of grammar. I'm talking about speaking Mexican Spanish, right? I'm talking about speaking Mexican. It's a different language, guys. So without further ado, guys, I'll give you guys number 1 right now. So number 1, not too surprising, but in December of 2016, I downloaded the Duolingo app. But the caveat is that I focused more on the phonetics of the language. So anytime there was a lesson where I got to speak, I didn't just press the mic button and repeat the phrase or sentence one time to complete that part of the lesson. I would say it 3 times, always, and focus on the a, e, I, o, u, the vowels. So, for example, let's cross the street, guys, if we can. Hey, we got some fans there. So for example, the word universidad. If you say that 3 times, universidad, you get those vowel sounds, but you're not just saying it, you're training your tongue. Because native English speakers cannot say the double R. Come alongside me, Anna. Today we've got Anna on the camera. She's doing work. And also, guys, for those of you who stick around to the end of the video, we're gonna get some of the best tacos in Mexico City. We're gonna order in Spanish, of course. We're also gonna grab an espresso and get Java wasted up here. So guys, you have number 1 now, Duolingo. All right, pull out my handy dandy list here. So in April of 2017, I took a trip to Mexico, down to Puerto Vallarta. And the biggest thing there was I got to use my Spanish and I made friends so that I could be conversational. And you need hours and hours, like thousands of hours of exposure to the language. So it's really important that you make friends, whether they're in Mexico, whether they're in the US. You make friends and you speak with them on a daily basis. Rafael in Colima, if you're watching this, I love you, bro. Still friends to this day, almost 8 years, 7.5 years later. I remember I went with this friend group. Well, I went to Yelapa on a boat, and I met these guys from Colima, drinking beers, playing soccer. We became like instant bros. And even when I went back to the US, I used the WhatsApp application to keep in touch with them. And they taught me all the non-formal stuff, right? The stuff that I can't necessarily say on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about, all right? And so the regular conversations with native speakers, very important. What if you don't have any native speakers? Talk to yourself. Sounds stupid, right? But some of the greatest athletes, to use sports as an example, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, those guys have good self-talk. And until you're successful, you're crazy for talking to yourself. But once you succeed, like at learning the language, then you're a genius for talking to yourself. So I would go on evening walks after this trip to Mexico, and I would talk to myself in Spanish and have my own conversations. Don't judge me. Smash the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost to the coffee place, but first of all, before that, I'm gonna give you number 4. I went back to college at 28 years old, and I took very few classes, and I took even less of them seriously, but I did take Spanish 101 and 102, and that gave me a nice foundation. Guys, don't feel like you have to use all of these, but a combination of 3 or 4 of these will give you the exposure and the foundation that you need. Let's go on so I went back to college. I had a great professor. He was actually a white guy, gringo, but he lived in South America most of his life. And Hugo, if you're watching this, what's up, Hugo? Que onda? He will hate me for saying que onda, but I love you, man. So I had a great professor. The classes were cheap, guys. It was community college. It was well worth it. And I took 101 through 102 with him. And then I started having issues, and I went through a separation. And I said, you know what, Hugo, I really want to go to Mexico. I'm getting divorced. I don't want to stay here. And he goes, go to Mexico, and I'll give you credit for Spanish 103. And I said, okay, you want to email me the tests, or how do you want to do this? He's like, no, I'll just give you the credit. You're going to be living in Mexico. You're going to learn the language, the spoken language, the written language. And so he let me graduate 103 from Jalisco. So I moved to Puerto Vallarta in 2018. And you can imagine I started really picking up the language fluently from there. And, but before I left Oregon, let's back up a little bit. I volunteered at an elementary school called Myers Elementary in dual immersion classes. And so I worked in 1st and 2nd grade classes for free. And at this time I was in Spanish 102. And so, yes, I was teaching the kids certain things, but the kids were teaching me even more. So I was working with basically in a classroom where the first half of the day everything was in English, and the second half of the day all subjects were taught in Spanish. And so simply by listening, some of the students would come up to me. I remember little Anelli would come up to me, and she would say, Mr. C, can I read you my story? So I would simply sit and listen to her story, and through that I would learn so much Spanish, but also learn how to learn Spanish, learn how to learn languages, learn how to teach languages. So that was number 5, guys. Volunteer. Let's go. Corre, corre, corre. Apúrate. Apúrate. All right. Let's go. Vámonos. All right, guys. We're going to get to number 6. I don't want to drag this on too long. Number 6 might surprise and even offend some people out there, but I'm going to say it. And my Spanish professor would be appalled right now, but I'm going to say it. I would get in my Hyundai hatchback, open the sunroof, open the windows, and turn on the Mexican radio station and listen to banda in the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon. And you can imagine I would get some funny looks, right? But also some camaraderie from there's a big Latin American and Mexican culture in Oregon, and these guys would roll up alongside of me in their, landscaping trucks, pickups, etc., and see this, gringo listening to banda. And through this, you learn the spoken language, right? We had, so one of the bands I really like is Banda Los Recoditos. They have a song, and I would pick up a few phrases from this song. Some other bands I liked were Cuarto de Mía, Grupo Firme, Calibre 50. But this song had this one phrase, and it's like, dice que el dinero es mal y que no más va a hacerme daño, pero yo prefiero estar llorando en un carro del año. You got that? All right. So when you pick up one single word or one phrase from a song and you repeat it over and over and over, you're training your tongue. But when you go to Mexico or anywhere in Latin America, but especially Mexico, Jalisco, Nayarit, Colima, and you know the songs, you know the banda, you're gonna make friends so much easier. You're going to connect with people. They're gonna freaking love you at karaoke night. So important, not just to learn the language, but to learn the culture and to not blend in, but be a part of something when you get there. If you're gonna drink beers with people on the beach in Yelapa, there's probably gonna be a Bluetooth speaker and some banda. So that's number 6. Let's go get this coffee real quick, guys. What's up, man? All right, let's get this. We're at Cumbe. This is some coffee from Veracruz. Hola, hola. ¿Cómo te trata el día? ¿Todo bien? Excelente. Para llevar, puede ser. Claro, gracias. So guys, this coffee shop is fire. Café de Veracruz. Hola, ¿cómo está? ¿Te molesta si grabamos un rato? Qué rico huele. Qué rico huele. So guys, one side note, Anna, the word huele, que rico huele. One time, so you gotta, when you want to learn a language, you have to be okay with sounding completely ridiculous at times. When I first got to Jalisco, I smelled someone cooking shrimp and with garlic and butter, and I wanted to say smells good, so I should have said huele bien. But instead, I was walking by and I was like, hielo bien, ice good. Made zero sense. So I was basically talking at like a 2-year-old level at that point. Sounded ridiculous. And I didn't realize it till like 5 minutes later. And I was like, no, that wasn't right. So anyway, the espresso's ready. Muchísimas gracias. Que tengan buen día. Gracias, igual. All right, guys. So we got the double espresso from Cumbe. This has become like a daily stop here in Roma Norte. This neighborhood is gorgeous, guys. For those of you who don't know, just a side note, Roma Norte is one of the more desirable neighborhoods in Mexico City. There are many, many beautiful neighborhoods here, but as far as immersing yourself, I think this is a good balance. There's a lot of English speakers here. Roma Norte is a good option if you want to flex and use your Spanish, but also if you get overwhelmed and want to break, you can definitely find plenty of people who speak English here. So Anna might reach out from behind the camera and punch me on this one, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Number 7, guys. Number 7 is dating native Spanish speakers. All right. All right, so this is before I met Anna. I moved to Jalisco, and I had one girlfriend who spoke the language really, really well, and she was well educated. And then I had one girlfriend who spoke almost completely in slang. So both were beneficial. I learned words like a huevo, but also I learned how to speak Spanish with a neutral accent. All right, guys, we're going over to Fuente. See how I glossed over that and deflected and changed the subject as quick as possible? So 7 is dating native Spanish speakers. We're going over to Fuente Las Cibeles, which is beautiful. And then after that, we're gonna walk by Pizza Roma, where we ate yesterday. I'll throw some shots of that up on the screen. Anna, would you like some espresso? Here. See how I just smooth things over after number 7 there? All right. Still keeping my distance. She's got reach. She's got reach though. But yeah, it's true. She's dating. You've dated English speakers to learn English, right? So Irish, Dutch, yeah. All right. She sticks her tongue out at me. So guys, number 8 is super fundamental, but I've never heard anyone say this. Do not get your tacos para llevar. When I've had so many friends who say they want to learn Spanish, and then they go to the taco stand, they order their tacos to go, and then go sit in front of Netflix, and they go back and isolate themselves in their apartment. What you want to do instead, get your tacos, stay at the taco stand, and be a fly on the wall. Sit close enough to the taco stand that you can hear how people order, how people converse, and the banter, you know, talking about the weather, talking about the traffic, talking about the air pollution. You really want to hear all of that. You really want to take advantage of that. And here we're going to walk over to the fountain, Fuente Las Cibeles. This whole roundabout here is surrounded by amazing shops, some of the best gastronomia in the city. Pizza Roma, definitely one of those spots. Do yourselves a favor, stop in there. The New York pizzas, you can do half and half. So if you're a meat lover and your partner is a vegetarian, you can still get one pizza, share it, and both be happy. And the ingredients are top notch. I know this video is not about food, but the cheeses, guys, the cheeses that they use are actually from Italy, delicious. All right, moving on. So that's 1 through 8. Number 8, do not take your tacos away. Stay at the taco stand. I'm gonna give you guys a couple bonuses now, and then we're gonna go get those tacos. Do yourselves a favor, stick around, because these tacos are 12 pesos, and they're the best in town. You can get ribs, you can get anything you want. All right, we are going up now to Calle Sinaloa. We're gonna show you Pizza Roma, and I'm gonna give you guys a couple bonuses. So number 9, bonus material. Keep that student mindset, guys. Think about your own native language. Like if you're a native English speaker, you continue to learn new words, right? You never stop learning a language. Your vocabulary can go from 20,000 to 25,000 to 35,000 words over time, right? So continue. Number 9 is just keep that student mindset. Make sure to listen. Make sure to continue to have conversations. You're never done learning the language. Give yourselves 3 to 7 years to properly learn a language and become fluent. I would say I became fluent in about 3 years. Anytime there's like something that people say takes 7 years, I try to do it in 3 to 5. But give yourselves time, stay in that student mindset. Number 10, when you start to become proficient and conversational, give lessons to your friends and family. I started giving English and Spanish lessons, never for money, but more for intercambio. All right, so Pizza Roma's closed today, but I'll throw some shots up of the pizza we got yesterday. It's absolute fuego. All right, so I had a Canadian guy, for example, Kevin, in Puerto Vallarta, and I would give him Spanish lessons. Even though I had just finished Spanish 103, he was a beginner, so I was able to teach him 101, the foundations, the basics, and just have casual conversations and tea and coffee, and that was super enjoyable. But I also taught English to my barber, Juan Carlos. If you're watching this, thanks for all the nice haircuts over the years. So I would teach him once or twice, maybe even 3 times a week. We would have a cocktail, and in return, he gave me free haircuts for life. Even last time I went back to Puerto Vallarta in 2022, Juan Carlos gave me a nice trim for the low cost of 0 pesos mexicanos. And so that's a really big one, guys, because when you start to look at it through the lens of a teacher, you look at the language through the lens of a teacher, certain things will click even better. All right, we mentioned this one already, number 11. Learn to accept the fact that you're going to sound ridiculous sometimes. The people who are too serious, really, I notice this a lot, is people who take themselves too seriously can't learn a second or third language. It just doesn't work that way. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You have to sound a little bit ridiculous. Number 12, this is a big one for me that I'm reminded of constantly, guys. Spanish is different in every country. I mentioned listening to banda music to speak Mexican Spanish. Well, what happens when you get on a plane and you land in Quito, Ecuador? All of a sudden, instead of calcetines, they say medias. I had no idea what they were talking about. I was trying to buy socks and they're like, medias? And I was like, I don't think so, but maybe. So it was a gut check, like, okay, do I speak Spanish? And they don't really say de nada for you're welcome. They say a la orden, a su orden. I was like, okay. Also the sigue nomás. Didn't really get that. All right, guys, this spot, fun fact, Casa Bruna, is a great place to buy bulk coffee, herbs. They have this reishi mushroom powder that I've been drinking to kind of endure the change of climate, altitude, air quality, etc. So check them out at Casa Bruna. And guys, we're almost to the tacos. I can see them up there. One thing I love about this spot is how quiet and calm the street is. We have weeping willow trees. I think there's even some eucalyptus trees on this street. And so guys, the biggest takeaway, I hope you got this, is exposure to the language. You need thousands of hours of listening to it. If you just do one of these 8 things, you're probably not going to learn the language well or quickly. Say you just go to university and take Spanish through 203 and then you think you speak Spanish, but then you go to Mexico and nobody is speaking the way that your professor was speaking. They're using words like a huevo. They're using phrases that make no sense to you. They're using the word pedo for everything, which for those of you who don't know is fart, you know? But they might say que pedo, you know? Like what fart? And you don't know. It's like they're not like como estás. It might be como andas, como ha estado, how have you been, como te trata el día, which we used at the coffee shop. How's the day treating you? So you will need exposure from native speakers. And I think one of the cheapest or easiest, Anna with the save, good job, you all right? Obviously Duolingo, you're gonna get to hear some speaking. But we talked about Banda, we talked about the Mexican radio stations. Also, last night, me and Anna watched a movie, but it was a Spanish movie, it was from Spain. And so it's more exposure with different accents. And for those of you who don't know, movies like Talk Talk and what was the one we watched last night? Do you remember the name? We don't remember the name. Puedo vivir sin ti. It's about basically cell phone addiction. All right, guys, let's cross here and let's get some tacos without further ado. But yeah, so using movies to get exposure, using conversation, dating native speakers, having meaningful friendships and relationships with native Spanish speakers. It really shouldn't be hard to do, even in the US or other countries. The culture is strong. It's one of the most widely spoken languages in the Western Hemisphere, well, if not the world. All right, looks like we timed this perfectly. It's not too crowded, guys. A lot of times, this spot is super crowded. Thanks for sticking around to this point in the video. You will not regret it. These tacos are fire. Fernando, Mau.
Fernando, muy buenos días.
¿Todo bien?
Todo bien, perfecto.
Excelente, huele increíble. Estamos bien grabando un video.
Estamos saliendo las costillas, están en proceso.
Oh, justo a tiempo.
Exacto.
Ya están preparando las
La
costillas.
costillita.
¿Y qué es el truco? ¿No me va a decir?
Así como de que no.
Y Mau, ¿cómo anda?
¿Qué pasó, hermano?
Todo bien, todo bien.
Mira.
Chambeando duro,
Como siempre.
como siempre.
Sí.
Mira, ¿cómo andas, jefe?
Todo bien.
¿Todo bien? ¿Queso oaxaqueño?
Sí.
Sí, sí, ¿cómo no?
Calidad hasta este lado, ya sabes.
Mira, mira, mira. Tiene precio de 12 pesos y la calidad
Ahí está el precio. Bueno, bonito y barato.
y barato. Bueno, bonito, barato. Uy, ¿qué es eso?
Moronguita,
Moronga.
Moronga.
chicharrón prensado.
Chicharrón prensado y aquí
deshebrada de res,
tenemos...
que es pastores.
¿Y tiene alambre hoy? ¿Picadillo?
Hay albóndigas.
Hay albóndigas, ok. And then, y esta cosa, queso con jamón, ¿verdad?
Jamón.
Rollo de jamón con queso frito, chile relleno. Aquí tienen todo. Se puede comer aquí diario. You can eat here every day without repeating. All right. And like I said, don't get your tacos para llevar. You get to hear conversations like this if you stick around and eat some tacos.
El horario de 7 a 6 de la tarde.
Ah, sí?
Sí.
7 to 7, guys.
De lunes
7
a
in the
viernes.
morning. Monday through Friday.
Sábado
¿Y los
de
sábados?
7 a las 3 de la tarde. De 7 a
Hasta
3.
3. Okay, Saturdays 7 to 3 in the afternoon. But Monday through Friday, 7 to 7. You guys can come here, get breakfast, lunch, dinner. Y huele increíble. Entonces nos da 2 y 2 de costilla.
Le falta la costilla. Costilla tengo aquí, tengo de la otra de la primera.
¿Crees que sí está?
Sí, sí.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna start with 2 rib tacos each for me and Anna. We'll show you guys those, and then we'll see you in a moment to talk a little bit more with Mauricio y Fernando about their taco stand. This place is incredible, guys. I think we've eaten here about 20 times in the last 2 weeks. Look at this. Y aquí tenemos salsa de cacahuate.
Frijoles, salsa de habanero.
Okay.
Salsa verde.
Salsa pica culo.
No digas eso. Porque
No, claro, no. Me va a cancelar. Tendré que poner pip.
ándale.
Mira. Esa salsa de cacahuate, peanut salsa. Hay que sufrir un poquito. We gotta suffer a little bit, guys. It's super spicy. La aguantamos. We'll endure it. Okay. Este de guacamole. No tan picante, pero un poquito sí pica. Y esta tiene más ajo, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Okay. Hay que hacer una mezcla así. Listo.
La combinación perfecta.
Sí, exactamente. Okay, guys, look at this right here. Can you imagine? 12 pesos, you get a giant piece of rib meat on each taco. This has been my mission, is to basically eat here as much as possible. So you guys should do yourselves a favor, do the same. If you enjoy the content, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. If you found value in this video, leave in the comments what you thought of it. If you'd like to see more videos about learning the language, we will see you guys in the next one. Rope Monster, out. All right, a little more espresso. Whew.
Rico.
Fire, yeah, okay. Primera mordida. Mira. Uy. Y aquí también tenemos la música, tenemos banda, ¿verdad?
Sí, una banda.
Por eso, ya tiene regla 6 y 8. Hay banda, hay plática, banda, conversation. That's how you learn, guys. Now, ¿quiere decir algo a todo el mundo sobre sus tacos?
Nada, pues que vengan a probar. Estamos aquí en Sinaloa, esquina con Cozumel. Cáiganle a lo bueno.
Y Fernando,
Este era una prueba de la costilla dorada. Ese es
costilla dorada, mira,
pruébalo.
regalito de Fernando aquí. Fernando, ¿quieres decir algo a todo el mundo?
Pues los invitamos a que vengan todos los amigos suyos, que vengan a probar los ricos y deliciosos tacos de guisado El Guachi. Estamos ubicados en la calle de Cozumel y Sinaloa, Colonia Roma.
There you have it, guys, the schedule, the location, la prueba de costilla dorada. These guys are amazing. Good jokes, too. ¿Y planchaste toda la ropa ayer?
Sí, toda.
Toda. Ok.
El domingo, porque ayer ya vine a trabajar aquí.
Se supone que es día de descanso, pero hay que planchar.
Hay que lavar, dejar a los niños todos bien puestos.
Sí. No existe día de descanso, ¿verdad? No. Oh man, I'm in heaven. All right, guys, so there you have it. I hope you could see there at the end the importance of rules number 6 and 8. Get your tacos, stay at the taco stand, have conversations with people, listen to other people talk, listen to the music that they have going, the banda. There's so much there. There's so much exposure that's pretty much passive. It doesn't really take much work to sit and eat tacos. You're going to listen whether you like it or not. You're going to hear the language. So I hope you found those 8 tips and the bonus material helpful. If so, please smash the like button. I've got some more tacos to eat, so you're gonna have to let me go, guys. I really appreciate you stopping in. Catch you guys in the next one. Rope Monster, out. Anna's eating all my tacos, Anna.